With syphilis cases rising across the country, local health departments turn to social media to send what they call a critical message.
23 News reporter Sydney Stoffregan talks with health experts who say it is all about prevention.
In 2022, more than 207,000 cases of syphilis were reported to the CDC. The Ogle County Health Department tells me these types of infections are preventable. People just need to know how.
It's all about preventing.
Many in Winnebago and Ogle counties join the millions nationwide contracting sexually transmitted illnesses. Ogle County public health nurse Tara Ziegler says it's important to remove the stigma that comes with sexual health.
Just making sure people understand that your sexual health is part of your regular health. Just like you go to the dentist every 6 months, it's a good idea to take care of your sexual health as well. We really just want to get that message across, especially to our younger groups.
In 2022, the U.S. alone saw more than 2.5 million cases of sexually transmitted illnesses, and the patients' ages can be even more staggering. Todd Kistner with the Winnebago County Health Department says children as young as 13 are showing up for treatment. So public health leaders turn to social media to send these important messages.
Getting everybody in the idea that these are preventable, and really we should take health practices. We just all need to get in a routine screening for STIs and keeping ourselves safe, our partner safe.
Ogle County finds success through TikToks, encouraging younger generations to stop in for preventative tools like condoms.
These messages about safe sex and condoms and testing got to the right group of people. We were trying to think of ways to be relatable and just be able to get that information on a platform that these kids are hopefully looking at.
Both Ogle and Winnebago counties provide STI testing to anyone that needs it. All screenings are quick and confidential.
Thank you, Sydney. And national data shows that from 2018 to 2022, cases of syphilis has risen nearly 80%, marking the highest number of cases since the 1950s.